Okay, thank you very much for coming. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on the time that you guys are just listening this webinar. It is a pleasure to be here today to talk about the topic that is transforming the way of interaction right now with the technology. As we move deeper into the digital era, as I talked before, artificial intelligence-driven virtual agents are becoming essential tools for all the customers, for the experiences, for the task that right now the world is moving and across the industries. So it's really important to know what is the potential of this product. Right now, the people of today really is really moving really fast. So it's really important for now the customer experience for the people that is trying to contact the companies or just to give some services, the efficiency and how simple is just make the interaction with the customer. That's really important. So that's why we create iMash, the virtual agent, that is really designing and providing intelligent real-time assistance, helping businesses for the customer services. One of the main objectives is to reduce operational costs and improve all the efficiency in the company. So we want to talk about what is really the difference, or what do you think is the difference between a chatbot, a virtual assistant, or an artificial intelligence. It's really important to understand what is the difference, because a lot of people, as I told you before, they don't know exactly what is the difference between this new application. Well, in the beginning, a couple of years ago, the chatbots just create and improve the communication normally by the website. But now we're talking about the voice. It's really important just to give the customer a really good opportunity to talk, to have a natural conversation with the customers. So that's really the chatbots. The chatbots really, the only thing that they do is just answer simple tasks. The artificial intelligence agents has more advanced technology to take or to make strategic decisions. The virtual assistants in that side, they offer personalized and help understanding conversation. Really important thing is that they use at this moment natural language. The natural language processes. So that's the big difference between the chatbot and the virtual assistant, because right now with this technology, we are able just to do and to have a real conversation with the bot. And then we have like a different use cases depending on the market, or the vertical market that you guys are working with. For example, in the e-commerce and retail, now we have the opportunity for the bot just to make and to offer different options for the products that the company is offering to the customer, finding products or personalized recommendation and processing orders sometimes. For example, in the customer support and help desk, we already have some customer working with that. And the potential that we have with help desk is just to the bot, he can create, or maybe she can create a ticket, going to the resolution really, really fast. And then the human people, the human agents, they can just go directly in important task, not really in this first level support. Another really important environment or market that the people is using this kind of technology is healthcare and telemedicine. So right now, as you already know, a lot of artificial intelligence is using in that for this technology. Another really big important is the financial services and banking. With this, we have the opportunity just to check the account balances, track transactions, just to know exactly if that is happening with my account, and I can ask for a bot directly if I have available just to get a loan application processes, and maybe if I can get a credit card or financial education that I just need. So this is really important too. For the human resources and employee assistant, we have the opportunity just to check or to see what is the payroll details that I have, what is the policies of the company maybe. Of course, that we're using at homes, in smart homes. And of course, we have some of the customers right now in hospitality and travel using our platforms. Now we're gonna just go deeply with iMash. And iMash, what we think, is you will create this technology just for all-in-one, just to have all the different technology that we use to have this important application, just to have in one package. In iMash, you can just select what is the providers that you're gonna use. For example, the voice providers or the artificial intelligence provider. There is a lot right now in the market, but the point and to work with iMash is that you have the opportunity to have everything in one. You can just collect and select really, really easy what is the voice provider that you're going to use, what is the LLM provider that you need to use for giving the solution that you are looking for. Of course, that we have the option to transcribe all the voice, and we use like a specific technology for that. And then we need to ensure that this product can grow without any problem. That's why we are just working with Amazon S3. And then another important thing is that we are an agnostic technology. So we don't care about what is the SIP trunk or what is the voice provider that we are just offering or we are just taking. We can just, the only thing that we need to do is just to have a SIP trunk connection with iMash directly from the cloud. Or maybe we can just have the interaction with the different PBXs. Right now, I can just show you some brands that we are just working, but it's not only with PBXs. We can just do the integration via a different contact center, for example, Genesis, Avaya, Bright Parent. It doesn't matter what is the technology that you are using right now in your company. The iMash communication is just a really easy connection to do that. Just for give you an example, in the new upcoming version for Issabel, we're gonna just give you the option just to have the virtual assistant just in the menu of the administration tool. Of course, that we're still working in the design, in the colors and everything, but it's already integrated. Right now, we're in the final testing just to do the integration totally with Issabel. So you guys, if you are using Issabel, you're gonna have the opportunity to only one click, just start using the virtual assistant, iMash. And you can select without any problem any language that you're gonna use, and you're gonna see how easy it is to do the integration. Israel, that is gonna go through the real demo, she's gonna show you in a bit how easy it is to do integration, not only with the voice, with the IPPS, with the carriers, but really important what is behind the scenes in your company. For example, if some customer is using some specific CRM or ERPs, or for example, in the hospitality market, we have like a different phone mail systems. We are working and we have the opportunity to do that integration without any problem. So again, we are an agnostic platform and we can just work with anything around us. So what is the specific key feature and really important capabilities and functionalities that we offer to iMash? As I mentioned before, we are just looking, or we create this platform for a really user interface. We're gonna have to put it in you guys in your hands, a really easy tool, create your virtual agents with no coding. You don't need to be an expert to do coding just to use it. We're gonna see it in a bit. It's really easy to use. Then another is that you can chat without any problem. It doesn't matter the language that you're gonna use. We don't have a limit in language. You can talk in Mandarin, in Spanish, in English. So we don't have any problem with that. We're gonna see how easy it is to work. The automation and support that this platform gives you to your company is really easy. Of course, that we have some real-time reports just to offer you all the information to take decision in the real time. As I told you before, we have the option to do the integration with the existing systems that you have inside your company. It doesn't matter again if you had a PBX or maybe you don't have a PBX, because this product is not only focused for the big companies. Really, is focused for all kind of companies. It can be small, medium, big companies, but we have the option to do the integration in a really simple way. We don't have any problem in growing and make adaptation with the environment that you have in a company. And of course, the way that you train the platform is really, really easy. And then, of course, that we have the option just to keep improving. So we have the machine learning and the sentiment analysis. So after a call, we're gonna have the opportunity to know, just because the iMash solution is working with that, if it was a good conversation, a bad conversation, or maybe a neutral conversation. We have the sentiment analysis without any problem. You're gonna see in a bit what is the dashboard and an overview of the real-time monitoring. It's really awesome. What is the specific information that you can see in the real time? One of the new things that we're gonna launch with this new version of iMash is gonna be the campaign management. So you will have, guys, the opportunity to work with a dialer. I call it the artificial intelligent dialer, because this dialer is not like a common outbound dialer. It's not a predictive, progressive, or preview dialer. The way is that the artificial intelligence is going to manage the call. It's going to get all the information, the different numbers that you guys need to dial, and just manage directly for the iMash. So you don't have to use a human agent just to do this blaster. And a really awesome thing too is the internal CRM that we're gonna see in a bit too, because you can just work everything inside the platform. And of course, that we are just the learning never ends, so we keep just learning and growing. Now, I think it's time just to meet your artificial intelligence friend, and I'm gonna show you in four really easy steps what is the way that we can just create our new friend, that is this type. The first thing that if you're planning just to have an artificial intelligence platform in your company, the first thing that you need to think about it is if you have in your mind the service or the attention workflow that you need just to answer the question of your customers. Then you need to think, we need to do some integration with a third party. What is all the different programs and systems that you have inside your company, and maybe we need to do and work in that integration. Do they have APIs? It's really important, because that APIs is going to give you the bridge just to do the communication and integration with this application that you are working with inside your company. Again, I told you before that this product is not only a focus for the big companies. It's focused for all the different companies. It can be a small, medium, large company, and we can just give you everything together. I mean, all in one. As I mentioned before, we can just give you the IDs, the number of your company, and then the best voice that you can select for answering the different questions that you have. And then another thing that you need to think about it is this code is going to be transferred to the human agents. We need to think about it. Now, we need to start teaching your new friend what is exactly the way that you guys want to answer the question of your customers. So I think I'm done with this. I think that it's a time just for Israel, if you can show us exactly what is working and what is happening in iMash, Israel, please.
So let me start with the basics of how you create your agent and what is the agent built with. Each agent is using an LLM, which is, for example, OpenAI, or let's call it the brain. It's using the STT, so that is going to be the transcriber. And then it's using the TTS, that's going to be the voice provider. Now, in your main dashboard, where you create the agents, you have a breakdown of all your agents. You have an average cost per minute based on the providers that you select. And if we jump into one of the agents, you can see how simple it is to set up an agent. All you have to do is give it the system prompt. This is what you want the agent to be. In this example, the agent is a concierge for a high-end hotel. So we're telling the agent exactly what we want it to be, what we want it to do. You can think about it like it's a human. This is your employee, and you just write down what you want it to be. And then for the initial message, we have the option to write a specific message, or we can let the agent decide the message, or we can let the user first speak, and only then the agent starts the conversation. Here we select the LLM, which is the AI. We can use OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, You can use your custom URL if you have any other provider that you want to use, something else. And we have the knowledge base. The knowledge base is basically a way of saving money. Instead of putting a bigger system prompt and paying more for the LLM, you can put very big files that contain your entire company information or support desk information or anything you want the agent to know. And this can be large files up to 50 megabytes, and you can have up to 5 knowledge bases per agent. So it's plenty of data that you can provide the agent with. The next step would be to set up the transcriber. We use DeepGram, and right now it's set to multi-language, so you don't have to really change the language here. In the voice tab, there's different providers. We try to make it so iMash is very flexible. So whatever provider you want to use, you can use. So you can select the provider, and then you're going to have all the different voices from that provider, and you simply select the voice you want to use. We have over 1,000 voices. We're adding more. The more high-end providers are 11 Lab and Play HT. For tools, before we go to tools, the next step would be to set the settings of your agent. Here you have options like maximum duration of the call, response delay. If the agent is pretty fast, you want to leave this at 0. But if it's too fast and you want it to slow down a little bit, you can increase this. You can choose how many words in the interruption threshold the user must speak before the agent is interrupted. So for example, if the agent is talking and the user interrupts the agent while it's talking, we can choose how many words until the agent's okay. If the user said 2 words, that's when the agent stops talking. You can play around with this, and it gives different user experiences, but usually leaving it at 0 is the best option, because we also have another AI in the background that checks if the agent should be interrupted. So sometimes if the user just goes, hey, or then the agent is not interrupted. The other settings are pretty basic. You can add idle messages. Let's say the user is not talking for a few seconds. You can choose how many times we can say, hey, are you still there? Hey, is everything okay? Or anything like that. Here you have the privacy settings where you can choose to record the call or not to record the call. And you can choose to be HIPAA compliant. If you select HIPAA compliant, it's obviously not going to record the call, but it's also not going to take any logs from any of the transcriptions or the voice providers. In the webhooks, this is where you would connect your CRM. So at the end of the call, we're going to read the transcript of the call, and you can, for example, if you have a CRM with Salesforce and you want to send, this is your user key or whatever, you want to send a post request to that CRM after each call, detailing what happened in the call or anything specific. You can either build a structured data where we tell it to look for specific things inside the call. You can just ask it, okay, I just want a summary of the call. Or you can kind of ask it, I want you to give me a specific scale, 1 to 10, or how good it was. imagine anything you would want to send, you can send through this tab. And I'll show you an example of, if you go to the call logs, you can see all the calls. If you click on the call, you can see the detail log of the call. You can see the recording. You can see the transcript, and the analysis tab. This is where you can see the analysis that would have been sent to your server. So if you move to the last tab and you look at call cost, this is going to be the breakdown of the cost for each provider. Now, like I mentioned before, you have the LLM, the STT, and the TTS. Each one has a different cost. And then you have the fixed iMash costs for the service. Now, you can either use your own credentials for these providers, or if you want to use ours, you can use ours and be charged for it. If you use your own credentials, let's say you want to use your own OpenAI key and you want to use your own 11 Labs key, once you do that, you do not pay iMash for those services. We also, if you don't use it, we don't upcharge you for using our credentials. So it is the same cost whether you use your own or if you use iMash. But this is just some users prefer to use their own credentials. The next step would be connecting your SIP providers. So here is where you would connect any type of SIP provider, any trunk, any PBX. This is pretty standard. All you have to do is put the information here. And then when you go to phone numbers or extensions, depending how you would like to use the system, you would select the provider that you added, and you would just import your number, or in the extension case, you would put the extension that you want to use. And if you click on one of the numbers, for example, this is where you select the inbound agent. Let's say somebody is calling this number and you want this agent to pick up. You would select it here. You can see all the inbound and outbound calls for this number through this tab as well. Now, if we go to call logs, you can get a more detailed report of all the calls. You can add any filters you want, and you can also click on the call and get the detailed report. You can listen to the recording. You can view this transcript. You can see the analysis, and you can see the cost breakdown. The knowledge base is where you would upload files that you can later on use inside the AI agent. Now, if we go back to the agent and we go back to the tools tab, this is where you would use, you can either use the webhooks, which happens at the end of the call after the call is hung up, and you can send that data to your CRM, but you can also connect your CRM real time as the agent is talking. This would be in use cases of where you would like to check your calendar. So you would add a custom tool here that makes a call to your CRM and then responds back with available appointments. And then the agent can use that real time in the call and send back another call to your CRM and really interact with your CRM as the call is going. Now, you have the built-in tools, which is the end call, the call transfer, or the press digit. So the call transfer is basically if you want to transfer the number to any extension or to a different number, you would use this. Now, for the more advanced tools that I just mentioned, we offer customization. So if you're an end user, or if you're a distributor, or if you don't have any technical background and you want to connect your CRM, we offer that service, and we can pretty much anything you can imagine that you would want the agent to do in interaction with your CRM, or any, doesn't have to be a CRM, can be any type of system or backend system that you have to manage your customer services, whichever it is, we can connect it through the dashboard. The next step is the built-in CRM that we have in our system. And the way this works is you have a leads listing, which will show you all the leads that you imported into the system. You can import leads from a CSV file, and you can view the lead information, the address, all the basic stuff that a CRM has. And you can also see any number that you would add to the lead will show up in the call log for the lead. So this is very convenient for any type of business that uses a CRM. Imagine you have all your AI calls and your regular calls as well connected, and just all in one place. And you can also here click on the call and see the recording, see the transcript, and all that information per lead. Now, the contacts tab is basically just like the leads. It's just a way to separate between, you can imagine the contacts would be your customers, right? And the leads would be leads. So once you decide that a lead is a customer, you convert it into, you click here and you convert it into a contact, and you can consider that person a customer. Now, in each lead and contact page, we have what we call the life cycle. Now, this life cycle, it's really built to cater to all types of use cases, whether you're trying to generate lead, or you're a service company, or you're a hotel company. And it's a way to follow up on the leads, where the AI agent can automatically, based on the call transcript, change this in real time. So for example, if we make a call to this lead, and at the end of the call, the AI agent is looking at the transcript and it's deciding, okay, this lead is interested, it's going to change it automatically. If you go to settings here, you have a way to kind of decide if you want the AI to do that or not. So you can tell the AI, okay, I want you to convert all the incoming calls to leads. So what that means is, let's say a new number is calling you. It's going to show up here as John Doe as a new lead. Then you have the option to have the AI change the lead stages by itself, like I mentioned before. So if we take a pause from the CRM and we go into the campaigns, you guys probably all know how the predictive dialers and all those type of dialers work. So this is a whole new type of dialer. This is, imagine this is a dialer with no limit, because we don't need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 agents available all the time to take those calls as the dialer keeps scaling up. Because what we do in our dialer is, when we set a campaign, we have the AI agents. So there's no, unless we want the agent to transfer the call to a real person, we really have no limit of how many calls we can make, how many people we can call, because we don't have that manpower limitation of how many physical real agents or telemarketers we have available. So if you look at the settings for the campaigns, what we do here is we select what phone numbers or what extensions we want to dial out from. Now, in the AI agent, we select which agent we want to be taking these calls. Now, currently, the max concurrent calls is 10, which means that there's going to be 10 outgoing calls at the same time. This is the default for new users. If you need more, we can obviously scale this up for you. You have an option to include the global do not call list that I'm going to go and show you in a moment. And then you have the option to retry your attempts per number. Now, what's interesting here is, let's say we set up an 8. We're going to try to call the same number 10 times, okay? And we're going to put a 60-minute delay. Now, we have an option here that says stop retrying after stage. Now, like I showed you the stages before, we can tell the campaign, okay, if the user was contacted, we don't want to contact him anymore, or interested, or qualified, or negotiation. So you're very flexible about how this works. Now, if the AI agent sets the stage to something else, then it automatically stops calling. What does that mean? So if the AI agent set the stage to unqualified, lost, do not call, voicemail, or no answer, obviously voicemail and no answer, we can disable that. So it's going to keep calling if it hits the voicemail or no answer. But the point is, it's going to keep calling until it automatically knows, okay, we don't need to call this person anymore. And in the working hours, you can set what time you want this to call. And this is going to be based off of the time that you set your contact. So let me show you here how you add contacts to your campaign. These are the same contacts that I showed you in the CRM. So if you look at this contact, for example, this contact, let's say it's set as new, and we add this contact to the campaign. So once it starts calling this contact, it's going to set up the stage after each call. And basically you have no limit of how many calls you can make through this dialer, because it's just very flexible. And if you go to the do not call list, you can add, just like a do not call list works in any other dialer, you can add numbers that will be on your global list. You can also here in settings have a settings where the AI agent adds those number automatically. So if there's a call and the agent is talking to somebody and the person go, hey, don't ever call me again, or remove me from your list, it's going to automatically add that number here, and you're going to see the contact ID. And you can also see the call log that caused that number to be added. So if you go here, you can listen to the recordings, and you can see why the agent decided to add that call to the do not call list. Now, if you go back to accounts in the CRM, the account is built to host the contacts and the leads. The way the account works is we also have a life stage for the account that will follow all the other leads. So if a lead, right now, the highest level of leads is interested. So this tells the global account, okay, this account is still not there. If one of the leads changes to negotiation, then it's going to go up. On the bottom of each account, you can see all the call logs that are done only for this account. So if we look at this account, we can see calls from Jim. And let's say there were other calls made from Jane, they would all show up down here. So it's a very easy way to follow your workflow. So if you create an account for whatever company you're or whatever campaign you're trying to run, you can see all the call logs for that campaign in specific. The other thing that we have, I went through the credentials. You have your basic account settings. We have the affiliate dashboard. If any of you are distributors and you would like to give your end users access to the dashboard, you can have them sign under you and you can earn a commission based off of their calls. You don't have access to any of their personal information, but you can see how many calls they made, how many minutes, and you will get a percentage off of their calls. And what else am I missing? Overall, you got your statistics, your usage that you can use. Everything can be exported. Everything can be accessed through a REST API that you can connect to your own system if you want to use it in that way. I think I've covered most of the use cases. If anybody has questions, let me jump into the chat here. You can post your questions on the chat, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Okay, so thank you very much, Israel. So for this final section of the presentation, I'm gonna take a couple of minutes to make a live product demo, right? So first of all, as Israel and Boris were talking about, so I'm gonna show you a particular case about an AA agent that we have right here. First of all, we have the system prompt, which is like I am sure that we almost all of us used any ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, etc. This is where we add this identity of the virtual agent, right? So first of all, we add the name, the position. We add as well the core knowledge that it should provide when asked any kind of particular questions, and all of the constraints, right? So what's the behavior that it should have in this particular case? It is a senior concierge for a hotel here in Mexico, so it should be elegant, should be short, keep it simple, and basically almost everything in just one sentence. So I'm going to make a call to show you how iMash works. This is not scripted, so I'm going to make some questions on the go. I'm going to interrupt it. I'm going to change language in the middle of the conversation so you can see how it should work. And I'm going to do it in this web interface. So it's like a click to call. But obviously, as Boris was telling you before, we can call them through a phone number or through an extension via PBX. But in this particular case, I'm going to make this call through the web. Okay, so I think my audio is being shared now. So I'm going to start the call.
Welcome to Safi Royal Luxury Hotels. How may I assist you today?
Hello, I would like to order room service, please.
Certainly. What would you like to order from our 24-hour room service menu?
Thank you. I would like to have a sandwich, a Coke, a latte, and could you share any dessert recommendations, please?
Please. Certainly. I recommend our exquisite chocolate lava cake for dessert. Would you like me to place the order for you?
Yes, please. And I would like to have French fries with my sandwich, please.
Your order of a sandwich with French fries, Coke, a latte, and chocolate lava cake will be prepared shortly. Enjoy your meal.
Gracias. ¿Podrías repetirme la orden, por favor?
Por supuesto, su orden incluye un sándwich con papas fritas, una Coca-Cola, un latte y un pastel de lava de chocolate.
Gracias. ¿Podrías compartirme el horario de la alberca, por favor?
Claro, la alberca está abierta de lunes a jueves de 8 a.m. a 10 p.m. y los fines de semana y días festivos de 8 a.m. a 11 p.m.
¿Puedo llevar a mi perro?
Lamentablemente, nuestra política no permite mascotas en nuestras instalaciones.
Escuché que tienen un bar. ¿Puedo llevar a niños a ese bar?
El bar está destinado solo para adultos de CITES, por lo que no se permite la entrada a niños.
De acuerdo. Muchas gracias.
Con mucho gusto, estoy aquí para ayudarle.
Okay, so basically this was a live demonstration of how, in this particular case, a concierge could help me make any order for my room. If I need any information about the business center, the business hours, I obviously can inquiry anything and escalate to a human agent in case of an emergency, or if in case that the agent is not possible to reply any of my inquiries, right? So I can show you as well one of the flow logs about what I just did before. So this is all of the logs that was about the call that I just made before. The transcript as well. For example, you can see that I asked about my room service, that I asked for a sandwich for this French fries. I changed the language to Spanish, about the pool hours, about the pet policies, etc. And I have as well the analysis almost in real time. As you can see, we just ended the call a few moments ago, and I already have the analysis of the call, which was the order that I made, the pool hours, the pet policy, the bar access for children's, and the evaluation of the call, right? Because it was qualified as 8, because it was effectively addressed by the user request, and the agent was able to provide all of the information and answers to all of the questions that I made before, right? I have as well all the call cost about what the TTS that I use, the STT, the LLMs, etc. I have all of the information almost immediately after I ended the call. So that was basically the live demo that I did before. I don't know, Boris, if you would like to add another thing before we continue with the questions in the chat.
Yeah, I think that, Luis, Hector Quiroz is asking if we can just try interrupting the speech.
Sure, I can.
Yes, Hector, we can, and he's going to show you in a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to show you right away.
And maybe you can also, because Nick Rio says, how does the agent react to questions that are really outside of the topic of or limits of the prompt? Maybe you can add something random as well.
Sure, I'm going to make both.
How may I assist you today with your stay at Safi Royal and Luxury Hotels?
Hello, could you please provide the Wi-Fi password?
Certainly, the Wi-Fi password.
What's the weather in London right now?
Certainly, the Wi-Fi password is iWorks.
Could you please share the weather of London right now?
I'm unable to access the current weather in London at the moment. Please check a weather app or website for the latest.
Could you please provide me the name and information of all the rooms in the hotel?
I'm unable to access specific room information right now. Could I assist you with anything else related?
Okay, so as you could see, I interrupted the virtual agent. I asked something about the weather in London, so it is trained to obviously do not provide any other questions about anything not related to the hotel. And as well, I asked for the names of all of the guests of the hotel, and obviously for security purposes, the virtual agent is not able to provide any of this information. So basically, I try to address all of the questions in just one quick call. I don't know if do you have any other question?
Yes, they have. He's asking about how about if we mix the different engines for TTS and STT, like Ultravox. He's asking if we can just integrate it. And the question is, yes, Hector, actually we're just, as I mentioned before, we're just keep learning. And of course that there is the roadmap and we just keep working with the different engines without any problem. Actually, it's an agnostic application for anything. So we can just do the integration. Of course, for example, the next step is gonna be working with what's on IBM. So we can just work with that, and there is no limit for this. And Luis,
Also,
there is another. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, also to Hector's question, we also support, I did not show that in the demo, the new technology by OpenAI that's called GPT Real-Time. And Google also added that now to Gemini. What that means is there is no TTS or STT, there's only LLM. We are sending audio packets to OpenAI in that case, and OpenAI is returning audio to us. This is already supported. Right now, OpenAI charges about 4 times more than what you would pay if you use the demo that you just heard by Paul and Luis. And we can add other providers, certainly, but I think right now, if you check what we have in the system, I think we cover all the major providers, but I'll certainly take a look at how is it called? Ultravax, and I'll see what they got to offer.
Thank you, Israel. And there is another question, Alex, and he's asking if we can do the integration with any VoIP platform like GrandStream, Gestar. Yes, Alex, we have no problem with do the integration. I think the only thing that we need to have is a SIP connection. So we can just do the trunking directly from the carrier, directly for a SIP trunk, or we can just do the integration with a SIM connection with any IPPX in the market. So we don't have any problem with that.
Yes, pricing. Let me share my screen and explain a little bit more for the pricing. So if you go to the agent tab, let's go to this one. If you go to the agent tab, you have the price here on the top for every provider that you select. And this is an average price per minute. And over here, you have the total average price. So the way this agent is configured, we are estimating about maybe 10 cents per minute, but every provider has different pricing. So once you configure the voice, the transcriber, and you choose the AI and you choose the model too, every model has a different price, you're going to get an estimate price, and then you can do some test calls and you can see the price right away here. You have a very clear breakdown of the cost. If you click here and you go to the call cost, you have an exact breakdown of every provider and every cost in that instance.
Yeah, thank you. And exactly like Israel is talking about the pricing, Nick. Yeah, it's depending of the volume of the minutes. So the cost is cost per minute, depending of the configuration that you have. Or maybe if you are an end user and you need, for example, everything ready, up and running, we can just make a bundle and put everything like depending of the volume of the cost. It's going to be, of course, more volume, less cost.
Yes, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, to your question, and also Ernesto, you can connect any PBX to it, but that is not required. Something I did not go over is you can buy numbers from iMash directly, and you can start calling right away. You don't have to connect a PBX to use the system or to use the dialer. You can buy the numbers here.
Thank you. And I think that comment answered the Alex Benitez, yeah, about the SIP-Tron connection. Yes, we can work without or with SIP-Tron connection. And Nick says, yeah, you have another.
And I guess another part of the question that Ernesto has is regarding what about calling through a web page using WebRTC? Is there a chance to do it?
Yes, you can do that. That's going to be an upcoming feature. It's on the roadmap, but it's definitely possible. And for your question about what about if we have our own numbers with PBX? So if you have your own numbers, you would use the extension. Once you connect your PBX, you set up your PBX with extension, whatever you put, and you send and receive the numbers to the extension. And then that goes through your PBX. So if you would set your PBX, this extension in your PBX, you would set it to whatever number you wanted to dial out from. And then if you go here and you dial a number, it's going to send that to your PBX. So one more question I see here. So to transfer to internal extensions, it's the same thing like I explained here. And then in the agent and tools, you would put the extension number you want to transfer here. So in this instance, if the agent decides, okay, it's time to transfer, it would dial this to your SIP trunk. Right now, there's no plugin for WordPress, but there will be, like I mentioned, a web option to make calls through the web. You can integrate that into WordPress because it's going to be JavaScript and HTML snippet. Once you set up your trunk, here. I can demo it from the PBX side, so because every PBX is different, but you would set up your PBX to receive calls and dial out calls to this extension. And then you would simply put the extension number here, import the extension, and then anything coming in or out would go through that extension into your PBX.
For the people that is just here, I would like just to tell you that it's an opportunity. Just if you sign up for the product, we're gonna be the first one to test it, and we're gonna offer some minutes by free. There is some contact information that you can send us an email, and we can send you the information. We can send you all the link information about the cost, talking about the volume of minutes that you're gonna make. So I think that we're done for today. We're really happy that there is a lot of question and interest in our product. As I told you before, this is totally a state-of-the-art product. It's the cutting edge of technology for artificial intelligence and chatbots. Please send us an email if you are interested. We are more than happy to answer any question, just to work in any project that you have. I don't know, Israel, Luis, if you're gonna add something.
No, that'll be all. Thank you, everybody, for your interest. And like Boris said, follow up, and we'll be happy to start.
Thank you, everyone, for your time and patience with us.
Thank you.
Have a great day.